Now, back in the 1980s, Cradley Heathens were the dominant force in the world of speedway. But after losing their stadium, the Heathens disappeared from the Black Country sporting landscape. Nearly 30 years on, and they're back and looking to rediscover their glory days.
Dudley Heathens is one of the, forgive me for using the word, but the legend of the sport.
Signing for Cradley was like signing for Manchester United.
They lost their team, therefore they lost their interest in the sport. Now they've come back.
Oh, it's brilliant. I've got something to live for.
Once a heathen, always a heathen. Come on, the lads.
Hello, very good evening. Welcome along to Perry Bar for the National League action tonight as the Dudley Heathens take on the Weymouth Wildcats.
Wednesday night in the Black Country, and the Dudley Heathens Speedway team are reaching the end of a long but momentous season. After 14 years in the wilderness, they're back and are chasing top spot in the league. For lifelong fans like Max, tonight is one of the biggest in over 60 years as a supporter.
When I first saw them go round, you know, the first heat, I thought they'll never make it. They'll be off in the first heat. But no, you know. And ever since then, the smell of the methanol, you know, what they use, gets in your brain. You know, it's absolutely fantastic. You know, the thrills and the spills is marvellous, it is. And as the years go on, it's getting better and better, faster and faster.
Tonight, the hopes of Max, his son Clive, and thousands of others rest on riders like 16-year-old Ashley Morris.
He's a very talented 16-year-old kid who's going to go a long way in this sport. He's very fast. He's very fast when he hits the front. Just got to get him at the start.
The red helmet is what you're looking for if you're looking for Ashley.
Tonight, the Heathens are taking on the Weymouth Wildcats in the National League. This is one of 15 races at the meet, and it's a 1-2 for the Heathens.
Hello, Richard! Hello, Ashley! Hello, Ash!
Good start and just sat behind my teammate, yeah. So, maximum points. I just want to keep on getting a few more wins now tonight and get as many points as possible.
Despite having no track to call their own, the reformed Heathens are riding high in Speedway's bottom tier. For the first time in 14 years, the fans have something to cheer about. But not everyone is aware of the history behind the Heathens' name.
It is an absolute privilege to ride for the Heathens. Back in the 70s, every rider you spoke to wanted to ride for the Heathens because of the name and the tradition.
My dad used to watch them. I'm only 17, so I don't really know much. I know my two mechanics used to ride for them.
I don't think they know really, like you say, how big we was, and now we're back. What can I say? It's, you know, it is awesome.
I loved it down here. Signing for Cradley was like signing for Manchester United in football. They were the team to sign for. Flamboyant, you know, they had everything.
The Heathens formed in 1947. At their peak, thousands flocked to their Dudley Wood Stadium as the then Cradley Heath Heathens established themselves as one of the biggest names in Speedway.
And they were renowned for putting out some of the most entertaining teams that we'd had in the West Midlands for quite.
It's interesting, isn't it, Tony, that from such lowly beginnings, right at the bottom of the division, the third division, then in those days, as they are racing now, they really went into the big time, didn't they? Cradley Heath is one of the, forgive me for using the word, but the legend of the sport.
Like going to a cup final every day, you know what I mean? Fantastic.
There was such a crowd following in those days that I lived at Walsall, and there used to be a special train laid on from Walsall to Perry Bar, which was always full.
People pushing you, you know, because you couldn't get anywhere. We had to go down the back of the crowds to get some bricks or something to stand on because we couldn't see.
By the 1980s, the Heathens dominated British Speedway, winning the British League twice, as well as numerous cup competitions. They produced no fewer than 5 world champions. But by the mid-1990s, things began to fall apart. The owners of the Dudley Wood Stadium decided to retire from the sport, and the land was sold to developers, to the horror of the fans.
It broke the hearts of a community, without any shadow of a doubt, and I think more should have been done to perhaps work with the club, work with the supporters to maybe try and find an alternative piece of land. There were protests galore, front page headlines in the local paper. There was fury and anger, but the big boys won. Well, this is virtually the entrance area to the old Dudley Wood Stadium. You see reference to it, Stadium Drive, one of the street names over to my right. The turnstile area was just over there on the right-hand side. And where we're stood now, actually, is probably in the bar area, where many a happy Saturday night was spent with a good pint and a good night of speedway. And the pits area was down over at the far end. And again, Race Meadow Crescent making reference to the old stadium. So it's quite emotional being stood here, actually, to be honest.
Soon after losing their track, the Heathens folded. A 50-year sporting legacy reduced to scrapbook cuttings. For over a decade, the Heathens' name was little more than a memory. But then, rumours started to circulate. A group of fans were going to resurrect the Heathens.
We got our heads together and said, look, you know, there is still that groundswell of support. Why don't we give the Heathens fans a team of their own to support once again?
I thought, happy days I'm here again. Because it felt as though they'd never been away.
It's Ashley's last race of the night.
Don't pass him!
Yes! A superb overtaking manoeuvre snatches him 3rd place. More points for the team, who go on to trounce Weymouth by a margin reminiscent of the Heathens of old.
Second in blue,
Not to come.
third in white, James.
Although the Heathens are back, they're currently nomads, riding their home fixtures at either Wolverhampton or at Birmingham's Perry Bar track. The goal now is to find a permanent home near Dudley and to return the Heathens to the top echelons of the sport.
But an ideal world, a purpose-built speedway track or a community facility with AstroTurf football and hockey pitches with a speedway track involved to house the Heathens for regular league speedway at a high a level as possible in 5 years' time. That would be fantastic. In the meantime, we go again with a shared track.
We're just riding. I mean, the fans have proved it. It don't matter where we are. We're here in numbers. We're showing the people Cradley never vanished. We just had a bit of a break.
And look at the support for third-tier racing. As a good many elite league clubs would love this support. They would love it.
So here to stay.
I hope so. I really do. Long live the Heathens.
And on Thursday evening, you'll be able to hear much more about Midlands Speedway by tuning into BBC WM at 8 o'clock. Well, that's it for tonight, but don't forget you can watch the whole programme again on the BBC iPlayer. Just go to our website, bbc.co.uk/insideout.